WorldWideWitteos. Slowly the rope bridge starts to break. Little by little, each little twine of the rope start to snap. Larry and the snail, Captain Acorn, cling to each other for dear life. They cling to each other so tight that as the rope bridge breaks all the way and they begin to fall, all they can think of is the fact that they are holding each other and it's going to be okay. They're falling and they're falling. And finally, after 3, maybe 4 feet, they stop. They're still shaking. They're still clinging to each other, and they're confused about how they aren't dead. They look around and they see white sticky threads, and they cling to each other while they test the waters and see that they're sticky and they're stuck and they can't get out. No sooner do they realize what they're in than they see him. The spider. Now this spider was a spider like no other. He was huge and he had fangs like this. And he was black and hairy. He was just a very scary spider. And they had never met a spider that they had ever liked. So Larry and Captain Acorn start to tremble with fear. The spider is crawling closer and closer and closer and getting ready to wrap them up inside of his spider twine. When finally they scream, "No, no, we have to stop the ravens. We have to." And the spider says, "Excuse me? What do you mean you have to stop the ravens?" If you promise not to kill us, we'll tell you," said Larry. "Well, I guess I'll give you a chance just this once. You have 1 minute to explain." "Well, you see, there's a bunch of ravens who are coming after our families because they want to start Raven Wars too, and we're trying to stop them. We're trying to get to the safe house to stop them." "Oh, I see. Well, who exactly is at this safe house?" So after a while the two little insects are still trembling with fear, they tell the whole story. They tell exactly what they're trying to do and why they're trying to do it. And finally, with a sigh, the spider says, "I guess I'm out of meal for today. How can I help, buddies?" "Why would you want to help us?" "Yes, why would you help us? You clearly want to eat us." "Well, there was once a time when I was kind of being ambushed by a raven, and I had someone nearby who distracted him." "You did? Who was it? Who distracted him?" "Well, I think their name was Mrs. Larry the Caterpillar." "What?" Larry couldn't believe his ears. Here they were, they had to decide whether they could trust the spider of all things, the spider who was going to eat them, or whether they should say they didn't trust him and just risk him eating them anyways. They figured, hey, either way, they could die. So they decided to trust him. They tell him, "Okay, we trust you." "Yes, we trust you. What can you do for us?" "Well, as far as I know, you're only a little bit further away from the safe house. I could probably give you a ride if you want to crawl onto my back." Hesitantly, they decided that they should do it. So he unstuck them from the web, they crawled onto his back, and I guess we'll just have to see whether it pays off or not.